Tonight, we're following a rapidly escalating and deeply controversial situation unfolding in Washington and overseas. Former President Donald Trump is facing bipartisan pushback in Congress over U.S. military action against Iran. Lawmakers from both parties are moving to reassert congressional authority, arguing that any sustained military engagement requires approval under the Constitution. In the Senate, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine and Republican Senator Rand Paul are leading an effort to advance a war powers resolution. Over in the House, Republican Congressman Thomas Massie and Democratic Congressman Khanna are backing similar legislation. Their goal is straightforward: require congressional authorization for continued military operations against Iran. Under the Constitution, Congress holds the power to declare war. Lawmakers argue that this authority cannot be bypassed. The White House, however, is pushing back hard. Supporters of the former president insist this is not technically a war, but rather a targeted military operation. That distinction has become central to the debate. Administration allies argue the president acted within his authority as commander-in-chief, citing what they describe as imminent threats tied to Iran's missile programs and regional activities. House Speaker Mike Johnson has warned that advancing a war powers vote during active military operations could undermine U.S. forces and embolden adversaries. He maintains the action falls squarely within executive authority. Meanwhile, critics on Capitol Hill say the briefings they've received have raised more questions than answers. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal said he left a classified session more concerned about potential escalation, including the possibility of U.S. troops on the ground. Senator Chris Murphy called for an immediate debate and vote on authorization, warning that lawmakers were told more American casualties could be expected. Senator Brian Schatz described the administration's rationale as inconsistent, saying clarity is still lacking. On the other side, Senator Lindsey Graham defended the strikes, arguing that waiting for threats to become imminent would be too late. He maintains Iran's long-standing hostility toward the United States justifies decisive action. Adding to the gravity of the moment, the first confirmed American casualties have been reported. Several U.S. service members have lost their lives. Our thoughts are with their families during this difficult time. There are also reports of civilian casualties inside Iran, including a tragic strike on a school. U.S. Central Command has acknowledged awareness of those reports and says the matter is under review. At the center of this debate is a fundamental constitutional question: who decides when America goes to war? The War Powers Resolution of 1973 was designed specifically to limit presidential authority by requiring notification to Congress within 48 hours of military action and restricting operations without authorization. Lawmakers advancing the current resolution say this is exactly the scenario the law was meant to address. The Senate is expected to vote first, followed by the House. Even if the resolution passes, a veto could trigger yet another constitutional showdown. Beyond the politics, the stakes are extraordinarily high. American lives are on the line. Regional stability is uncertain, and the American public is seeking clear answers about the mission, its objectives, and its endgame. As this story continues to develop, one thing is certain: the debate over executive power, congressional authority, and America's role on the global stage is far from over. We'll continue to follow every update closely. Stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, thank you for watching.